Hello guys, welcome to the channel. It's the Branded Dude, and guys, today I have another branded replay for you guys. We are going up against Ryzeal, fiendsmith. So yes, 60 card branded against the top meta deck right now. So let's see how it goes. Also, before we start with this video guys, please do join my Discord and follow me on Instagram, and also please do like, comment and subscribe. It really supports the channel. And cool, let's get straight into it. So here in the rock paper scissors, the Ryzeal player did end up winning it and he chose to go first. Opening hands, you'll see that I open Kit, Banishment, Super Poly, Thrust and in red. So this is sort of a mid hand. Kit is not a good normal summon, but at least it's something we can use to search branded fusion. Opponent opens Ash, Bowdrake, Druisworm, Bonfire and another Ash. So he has 2 copies of Ash here. So yeah, that's not good for us. So anyways, opponent is going first, so he goes Bonfire to access his Ryzeal. Plays normal summons Ice, summons X searches Sword. He then overlays into the Evil Swarm. Then he accesses his fiendsmith engine. So cool. Yeah, here he's going for the Xyz, yeah, High King Caesar, just to have that nerf protection. Then he special summons Sword, and then boom, here's Duo Drive, Searching Cross, and Node for further plays to set up more. Here I thought actually he was going to go for Abyss Dweller, but actually he decided to go for a Detonator with Node and X Ryzeal. Also, if you just notice, Ryzeal Cross shuffled back 2 cards and he drew into Effect Veiler. So he has Ash Blossom and he has Effect Veiler. He discarded the Ash Blossom, I think, for Node's effect to Reborn X from the graveyard. So yeah, anyways, he has 2 Bestials and 2 hand traps in his hand. So yeah, that is a decent hand for him, and he overlays into Detonator. If he went into Abyss Dweller, we would be okay because we have Super Poly and we would just fusion away his Wave High King Caesar and his Abyss Dweller for Mud Dragon in the draw phase. So anyways, Detonator here attaches a card. I don't think he has, yeah, he doesn't have Aggregator in the graveyard, but he has a Lacrima, so that can send a trap during our turn. So cool. Goes end phase, passes. Here we draw into branded opening, so we need to worry about Wave High King Caesar. Wave High King Caesar can negate opening, which is a bit troublesome. And Kit, unfortunately, with Super Poly in hand, normal summoning Kit, we don't have a way to break his board with Super Poly. We don't have the right fusion target, so we are on a tough spot here. So I am forced to normal summon Kit. He allows us to go through here. I could have searched for branded fusion, but because my opponent sent Ash Blossom for Node's effect, it was a good guess that he has a second copy of Ash in his hand. So anyways, that's fine. So what I decided here was I'm going to search branded loss, shuffle whatever card, the trap card, back into my deck, and then when I activate loss, I know for a fact my opponent here is going to activate something, which he does. He goes Detonator, popping lost, which is fine. Now Thrust is live, so I'll go Thrust, but here my opponent decides to use the Ash and I scoop because, listen, he has Caesar, he has the field spell, yeah, he has Detonator to pop. He's going to break my board. I'm not going to have anything. So we scoop. We just scoop. We go to game number 2, guys. In game number 2, I decide to go first. Here we open Tragedy, Aluba, Lost, Albaz, and Imperm. As you know, guys, if you did see my Branded versus Malice video, the recent one, I am playing hand traps as well, not just board breakers. So my opponent opens Tract, the Molchami, Ice, Nurb, and Lacrima. Cool. We go to main phase. We normal summon Aluba. Here I was a bit afraid that if my opponent had Imperm Veiler, that's it, my turn was done. I have no way to dodge them because I don't have access to Cartesia. So we normal summon Aluba with hopes and dreams that he did not have a negate, and luckily he did not. So here we search branded fusion. We then go Lost, we then go Fusion. If he had Ash, that was also GG's for us, but he instead drops the Molchami, which is fine. So here I decide he's only going to get 1 draw. We're not going to make him draw too much. So we send Albaz and Lubellion to go into Albion the branded. Opponent draws into X Ryzeal, so he has more Ryzeal cards in hand, and we just go Chainlink 1 Lost. Here we just add Albion Destrated because I want to send a card to grave and draw a card, hopefully draw into something like a D barrier here. And we tribute Albion, summon Lubellion effect here will place branded regained because my opponent is playing bestial, so regain's good. Maybe if he banishes our stuff, we can just recycle and get a draw. We got Albion the Shrouded effect. Here we send Branded Retribution. The reason why I send Retribution is I just want to have access to Branded Fusion again during the next turn or the turn that follows. So yeah, we just send Retribution. Cool, it's there. We have a safe way to get Branded Fusion back, and we're just going to draw a card. Here we draw into Branded in red, which is good. We do have an Albaz Engrave, so we have a way to Fusion summon during our opponent's turn. So I set Branded in red and Imperm, and I pass. In end phase we got Albion effect. Setting Branded Banishment. That's why we have, another way to fusion summon just by targeting either Albion the Branded or a Despia monster. We pass and my opponent draws into a second nib in his hand, but he has access to his fiendsmith and Ryzeal plays, so he is okay, but no hand traps except nib. Goes to main phase. He normal he normal summons ice, then its effect summons X. X effect will search sword. Now here I know my opponent here was going to overlay and go into the Evil Swarm Exciton to destroy my field, which is fine. So he goes into it. I wait for it to activate its effect, and then only do I chain Imperm. So it's negated, but on res, because he has a light monster, which can be a fusion material for us, I go Branded Banishment targeting Albion. I reborn it, and then I banished my Aluba and his Xyz to go into Masquerade. On res, I go Chainlink 1, Regain, Chainlink 2, Branded Lost. I go Regain targeting my Luba. I'm not giving him back his Evil Swarm. That can stay banished. So that's fine. We draw into Mercury because we have Albion, which is our best fusion monster, to make Mercury alive. And we shuffle back a Luba and we draw into Bestial Sarania. Cool. An interruption, but also ability for us to put a body in case we need that to prevent any further damage. My opponent then starts off with special summoning X Ryzeal by sending Aggregator. He takes damage here off Aggregator's effect and negates Masquerade. Moving on, my opponent special summons Sword. Here I decide to use Mercuria because I don't want him to gain, because he used Ice. So either he could special summon Ice by sending a card from his hand or field to grave, cool. Or he could use Node's effect. So I decided, let me stop him from gaining more Ryzeal names. It was a bit of a risk. It really was, but I felt a bit confident here. So we go Mercury negating Sword. On res, I go Branded in red, targeting Albaz. And here I go for Chimera to destroy all his level 4 bodies so he doesn't exceed summon. I use Masquerade because Masquerade is negated. So cool, I don't want to banish this. If this can't stay on the field or go to grave, that will be better for us. So we go into Chimera, so Chainlink 1 Chimera, Chainlink 2 Tragedy, but my opponent scoops. Cool. So we go to game number 3, guys. Now game number 3, Ryzeal player is going first. Opening hands, I open High Spirits, Sword, Albaz, Super Poly, and Allure. So with the Albaz and Super Poly, we have a way to break the opponent's board. With Allure, we do have High Spirits, so we could search Mercuria by sending Albaz. So we have 1 or 2 plays here. Opponent opens Sword, Ice, Fake Veiler, Talent, and X. So opponent's going first. He's going to do his place. Normal summons Sword, summons X search Node. Yeah, he's just running through it all because I have no interruption. So here's going to put the Caesar. So that's one troublesome interruption we need to deal with. He then goes into Geo Drive. Geo Drive is going to search Cross and search Ice for follow-up. He goes Ryzeal Crush, shuffling back Detonator and X, and here he draws into an Imperm, so another hand trap. Then special summons Sword. So cool. Did I say Sword? Sorry, he special summoned Node. Then reborn X, and then goes into Detonator attaching Ice. So here the disruptions my opponent has. He has an Effect Veiler, he has an Imperm, he has Wave Hiking Caesar for 2 special summon negates, Detonator which can pop 3, Ryzeal Cross, and he has Lacrima in Graveyard. So that is a crazy number of interruptions we need to play through with this hand. With this hand that we have right now, we may not be able to break through it, so let's see how we do. We draw for turn, we draw Branded Opening. So with Opening, we could search Tragedy, which we could banish off Allure, and we still have High Spirits, which can search Mercuria, which we can banish also off Allure. So here I knew that I needed to get rid of Caesar. Caesar is the most troublesome here. Also detonator, the fact that it does pop, but Caesar is stopping our special summon, so that is a bit more troublesome for us. So first I start off with high spirits because I'm going to be searching for Mercuria. I go reveal Owlbear, sends Titan. I don't send Albion the branded because I'm assuming there's a chance that I will either resolve branded fusion, or I will be able to send Albion the branded dragon of Merjade or Grand Gugno. So we discard Owlbears and we search Mercuria. We then go Allure of Darkness. Opponent does not stop this, so we draw two. We draw into Kit and Cartesia, which both of these cards can be special summoned, since one, we have Owlbears in graveyard and we have Owlbears fusion monster in graveyard. So we banish Mercuria. Mercuria effect here, I search for another Owlbears. The reason why is because I'm still going to use Super Poly to break my opponent's board. Now I normal summon Owlbears quick, and then I chain Super Poly, sending Branded Sword. That's why Branded Sword can banish itself and add Mercuria, and I fuse away his Detonator into Merjade. Now here's the thing is, even though we got rid of Detonator, Duo Drive is boosting my opponent's monster's attack by 100, and Merjade is at 2900 attack. So basically I cannot get over this unless I crash my Merjade into Caesar, but I think I still need to deal with the field spell. So here I contemplated and decided I'd rather just destroy the Ryzeal XEs. But in battle phase, I go Branded Sword just to add Mercuria, just so that we have the negate if we need it, if something pops up in the battle phase. I then decide to use Merjade, sending Rinbrim. The reason why I send Rinbrim this time is because I have two Owlbears in the graveyard, so Rinbrim is basically just an interruption during our opponent's turn. So here my opponent decides to use the Imperm, which was set, negating Merjade, which is fine. Then I destroy his Duo Drive, so one, Caesar is no longer boosted, and also Ryzeal Cross, the field spell, is no longer an interruption we have to deal with. I then go main phase 2 and use Cartesia effect in hand to special summon itself. Opponent here then chains Lacrima, so he's not using Caesar yet. Requiem is summoned, we summon Cartesia. Cool. Opponent goes Requiem effect, summoning Lacrima from the grave. The reason why I didn't negate with Mercury is I kind of want to save at least one Mercury negate for Caesar. So I decided not to negate Lacrima. Lacrima here will send the trap card, so my opponent has that interruption as well. I then go Kit's effect, to special summon itself, but here my opponent decides to use Caesar. I then know that because Kit is going to get negated, even if I choose to negate Caesar with Mercuria, when Kit resolves, if it resolves, I am going to search Branded Fusion, and unfortunately my opponent will still have one more Caesar negate because we don't have a Branded Retribution in the graveyard. So I decide not to use Mercuria. I'll let Kit get destroyed, but I do go Chainlink 3 Cartesia to Fusion. Here my opponent uses Effect Veiler on Cartesia, and now I decide, okay, I'm going to use Mercuria because if I don't want to lose too many materials, so let me at least get Cartesia to Fusion summon. So the chain resolves, we go into Grand Gugno, Kit gets destroyed, Effect Veil is negated, but on res, Chainlink 1 Grand Gugno. Here I thought my opponent was going to use the trap, but I guess he didn't want to use it because the Merjade will go to grave and pop his field, so I think he was holding the trap effect for another time. So here Grand Gugno dumps the Albion, the Branded Dragon, so we at least have that set up for the end phase. I then contemplate, obviously now Caesar still has one more negate, and either it can negate Titan Eclipse in our turn, or it can negate Rinbrim in the next turn. So that is something else. Also, if Albion the Branded Dragon sets Branded Banishment or Branded Red, Caesar can negate that one as well. So yeah, that was still an interruption we had to worry about. So I go to end phase. End phase first I use Cartesia to add itself to hand. I then go Titan effect, seeing if my opponent would use Caesar, but he does not. So I summon Quem. No point summoning Owlbears because then obviously Owlbears will get destroyed. So I decided, let's just summon Quem, let Quem dump a card. So we go Quem effect here. I believe we dump High Spirits. No, we dump Retribution. So at least Retribution here, it's just there in case to recycle our branded spells and traps. Just so it's there. It's cool, it's sorted, we don't need to worry about it. Still in end phase, I'll go Branded Opening, seeing if my opponent would negate with Caesar, and he still doesn't. So we discard the Cartesia, go into Aluba. Aluba will search. Here I search Branded in red. I decided, we're forcing Caesar now. So I go Branded in red, and my opponent does chain the Caesar's lost ability to negate, which resolves cool, so we don't need to worry about Caesar. Then I got Albion, setting my second copy of Branded in Red. You see guys, playing 2 copies is really good. So we still have the Brand Banishment card in our deck, but we said Branded in Red, so we are chilling. Opponent draws per turn, he draws Branded Regained. In the draw phase though, because Ryzeal Cross is still there, I don't want it to stay there, and most Ryzeal players only play 1 copy of the field spell, so I decide we're getting rid of it. So go Branded in Red targeting Albaz. I banish Aluba, Albaz and Mirror Jade, because Mirror Jade, sure, if my opponent destroys it, it can basically end phase Poppy's whole field, but it's just a body, so I'm not going to worry about it. I want to keep Quem, I want to keep Grand Gugno, because both of these two can basically summon monsters, either from the graveyard or deck or extra deck respectively. So I get rid of Mirror Jade. We go to Chimera, Chainlink 1 Chimera, Chainlink 2 Quem. Here I target Cartesia, so that way we have a way to fusion summon. And remember guys, we still have Rinbrim in the graveyard, so we still have a way to go into Mirror Jade. So here no response, so we resolve Cartesia, and then Chimera draws 1 and we pop his field spell, and I decide to pop the Wave High King Caesar. I don't pop Lacrima because 1, my opponent has Engraver in the field, and if I send Lacrima, my opponent has more options for Engraver to shuffle back, so I kind of want my opponent to put back force him to put back the Requiem. Maybe I was overthinking this, but I decided, you know, maybe he's playing only 1 Lacrima, so yeah, let's just leave the Lacrima in the graveyard, and then my opponent will have to shuffle back the Requiem. You know, maybe some stupid silly talk, but I decided let's leave Lacrima there on the field. So enough yapping about that. Opponent goes to main phase. I believe, yeah. So he goes Engraver, shuffling back Requiem. Cool. I don't trigger Grand Gugno here. I decide it's fine. It's cool. We don't need to worry about it, because 1, if my opponent is able to basically special summon X by sending Aggregator, if I use this early, maybe going into, let's say, Coridas or maybe another Quem, you know, whichever one of the two, X can send Aggregator and negate either Coridas or what's the name, Quem, whatever the case is, you know, basically, and can negate either one of those two, so we don't use it now. Opponent then links off into he synchros into Chaos Angel. Chaos Angel here is targeting the Grand Gugno to banish it, so now I do use Cartesia to fusion, and I use Quem and Grand Gugno and go into Coridas. So I go into Coridas early because 1, I'm trying to I want to reduce my opponent's attack, his monster's attack to 0. Obviously I could have maybe went into Masquerade here. I could have went into a second copy of Grand Gugno. I could have done that, but you know, I decided, you know, Coridas is a good monster to go into, hopefully to reduce how many of our monsters get destroyed. But Chaos Angel is made with light monsters, so his synchro monsters are unaffected by our activated effects, so that can be a bit troublesome for us to deal with. Opponent then normal summons Ice Ryzeal. Here he summons Sword will get the search. Here I believe, yeah, he searches X because I only play 1 copy of Node, so my opponent still has X Ryzeal, which can dump Aggregator. I believe he goes Aggregator now. Yeah, he goes Aggregator, sending he summons X, sending Aggregator. Now Aggregator triggers to negate Coridas, and then so I just use Coridas to reduce his monster's attack to 0, except Chaos Angel because it is unaffected. But on res, I do go Rinbrim, targeting Albaz, no response, so Albaz summons. I go Chainlink 1 Albaz, discarding Albion, but my opponent still has the Fiendsmith in Paradise. I think either maybe he forgot or he decided, obviously right now doing the trap won't do anything, so because the trap will have to be Chainlink 1, so yeah, he can't do anything right now, but he still has the trap card which we need to worry about. So anyways, that resolves. I don't use Chaos Angel because it is unaffected, but to be honest, I kind of forgot that Chaos Angel was unaffected during the game, but luckily I didn't use it. I decided to use his Ryzeal monsters because I was trying to reduce the number of level 4 bodies he had on his field. So you use Ice going to Albion effect. Here we go straight for Mirror Jade by banishing Albion the Shrouded because it's treated as Albaz in the grave, and Titan because we're most probably not going to need Titan anymore, and we go into Mirror Jade. I put everything in defense in case my opponent has talent to take a monster. So yeah, put them all in defense. Cool. We go Mirrorjade effect, banishing sword. So here I hope that my opponent didn't have another Ryzeal monster, but he did. He had Ice Ryzeal, which he could special summon by sending regain from hand to field. So he overlays into Detonator, which is fine. He enters battle phase. First he destroys Kuridus with Detonator, and then he destroys Chimera with Chaos Angel. We go to end phase. End phase we go High Spirit to add itself to hand. I think that's the only effect we have. Yeah. So we draw for turn, we draw Imperm. Cool. So here's the thing is, Chaos Angel is unaffected, Detonator can pop, but Mirrorjade is a fusion summon card right now at the moment. So I decide we're entering battle phase, and I attack his Detonator with Mirrorjade, hoping to crash, but just remember Detonator can protect his Xyz monsters, not his, other Xyz monsters on the field, including itself, from battle destruction by detaching a material, which he does right now, detaching X, but Mirrorjade gets destroyed, and now I trigger its effect, which my opponent has no response to. I then attacked with Albion, hoping to crash it too. There's no point using Cartesia because Detonator can just pop it, even though yes, my opponent doesn't know if I have a monster in hand or not, just this one card. So, we just crash, it's fine. We take 500, put Albion in the graveyard. Now here, I decide to go Retribution, targeting branded in red. That's where we have another card to help us fusion summon, as well, besides just relying on just, let's say, Albion can set branded banishment. Just to let you guys know, Mirrorjade, both Mirrorjades are out of the extra deck. One is banished as well. Rinbrim, Titan, and also we have both our Albions and Lubellions. So basically, guys, I have no Albaz fusion monsters in my extra deck. I have none. I just have Furious, I had Mud, I had Predaplant, and I think I had Masquerade, yeah. And I think another copy of Grand Gugno, right? Yeah. So I had no Albaz fusion monsters, so I needed Albion, the branded, to set branded banishment, okay? But unfortunately, I also needed to try recycle back Retribution so that, it can recycle my Albaz fusion monsters. So I was in a tight spot here. Anyway, so I decide, okay, if I go to end phase, Mirrorjade will resolve. Chaos Angel will be destroyed because Mirrorjade's end phase pop effect is a lingering effect, not an activated effect. And Detonator, either it can protect itself or not. But luckily for us, Mirrorjade doesn't activate its effect in end phase to pop. It will just happen, so he cannot basically chain its the Detonator target to destroy card effect whatsoever. So we set Imperm, we set Brand in red. I don't think I do set High Spirit. We go to end phase. First I resolve Mirrorjade before activating anything else so that Detonator doesn't pop any of our back row. So that's cool. Opponent's board is cleared. Then we go Albion, setting Branded Banishment, and we pass turn and my opponent draws into Bonfire. I don't think he had any other Ryzeal names. Let's see, there's one sword that's banished. There is one sword here. He plays one node. 3 of Ice Ryzeals are in grave. There's 2 X Ryzeals in the graveyard as well, and sword. So maybe he had one copy of Sword Ryzeal in deck, but he didn't have any other Ryzeal names to search. Either maybe he didn't have an X Ryzeal to search, and I don't think there's only 3 Ice and only 1 node. So it was GG's. Even though he drew Bonfire, I don't think he had any plays, but also he knows that I have Branded Banishment, and most probably he assumes that Cartesia, Branded Banishment can just super poly his board away. So yeah, it was GG's and he scoops. So we managed to win game number 3 as well, scoring us victory in this matchup. So yeah, guys, even though I ran out of Albaz fusion monsters, I managed to win this game. I thought it was not gonna happen, judging by the fact in the beginning of this game number 3, my opponents ended on Caesar, Detonator, Ryzeal Cross, Unknown, Imperm. He had an Effect Value in hand, and also Lacrima, which basically is just a fiendsmith trap. So with the hand I had, I didn't really have a direct access to Brand Fusion or anything like that, just Albaz and a Super Poly. So yeah, I was a bit worried whether this was a win, whether I could actually win this game or not. But as you saw, we ended up finding a way to win. Sure, my opponent did have the fiendsmith in paradise trap card. I'm not sure, either he maybe forgot, or he didn't, he thought that maybe he would save it for later, or he just didn't have a good time to use it. But you know, it was good, we managed to win. Really good, felt really good about winning this. And yeah guys, that is the replay. If you guys did enjoy watching this video, please do like, comment and subscribe. If you notice any misplays or anything else, any moves or any other plays I could have made differently, do let me know in the comments below. But again, I hope you enjoyed this video. See you in the next one. Cheers.